Welcome to Spitbucket. Just making sure Ellie can see the. Right now I can, because we're
Have you got a ring on or a piercing or something there? Have you?
You wish. I'm here with Dave Bicknell, who is the chief bottle washer at Oakridge. You've been here longer than most of the vines almost.
I've washed a lot of bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you were originally Deborts, and you came across here about a decade ago.
It seems that way, yes.
Can you give us a thumbnail sketch of what's happened in the last decade?
I used to be young and beautiful, and now I'm old and grey.
One of those
That's
is right.
pretty much what's happened. Okay.
These yet to hit the market, I gather?
These are yet to hit the market, yeah. So the work we've done with Chardonnay is, with lots of different vineyards to try and get them to a certain standard, and then obviously we apply an arbitrary grading and price on that. We've rolled out.
You need to travel in the world that year.
Oh, I wish. Phillip Island's the only overseas jaunt I've had this year. So we've rolled out the same program with Pinot Noir, where possible, and obviously 2010 was a very good vintage for us. So we've produced 2 single vineyard Pinots alongside our mainstay over the shoulder and the bottom, Oakridge, the next level up, and they're these 2 single vineyard wines that we've produced. One under Lieu-dit, which means named place, and the other one under 864, which is obviously our top of the range type wine. So as you can see, it's quite light bodied.
So these aren't coming out till September, is that correct?
These won't come out till September, so they've only just been bottled 5 weeks ago. And this one, Ducks Lane Vineyard, is a vineyard up in Seville, but it's in grey soil and not red soil.
Okay.
Now, just to roll back a couple of steps, a lot of this work with the different vineyards is really working to the geography and geology we have in the valley here. So it's quite different to a lot of other regions where it's homogenous. It's quite disparate here. And
so Yarra is quite a large region.
It's spread out. It is quite spread out. And you can see
the hills,
when you're standing here, if you were to turn around with the camera, we're going from, we go from 80 to 500 metres.
While we waited your arrival, we did that.
Thank you. That's the way it should be.
Well, you look at, it's one of the reasons why you're so successful with Chardonnay, Pinot, Shiraz, Cabernet, sparkling, which is a great thing. Yeah. But it also does sort of
that can work
blur,
against you.
Exactly, it blurs things a bit because what's the big thing that stands out for the Yarra?
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing probably is Chardonnay, but that's not taking anything away from any of the other varieties.
No.
And again, because it's such a complex matrix that we're looking at, there are little pockets, and like right here on this vineyard, Cabernet is easily the best variety, and we're in one of the slightly homogenous parts of the valley here, at the bottom of the Warramate Hills. Where Yarra Yearing and Mount Mary are, and Coldstream are up behind us as well. And it seems to really kind of suit, those Bordeaux varieties down here, and it's a bit warmer. So it works. Yeah. Whereas as soon as you head up another 100 or 2 metres and you go into those red volcanic soils, you can't get things like Cab ripe at all. Got no chance. And it favours these early varieties. So this is a Pinot from grey soil, not red soil, up at Seville, and it faces east, which is normally been seen as pretty unfashionable, away from the sun. But that helps because you don't get sunburn as well in those warmer seasons. And one thing we see with those grey soils, we get a lot of aromatics with them, so a lot of perfume.
It's certainly, that lovely florals and strawberries.
I think the Yarra Valley does perfume better than a lot of other regions. We don't do the fuller bodied, black fruited versions of Pinot.
You're not quite central yet.
No, and I don't think we ever will be.
You don't want to be.
And we don't want to be.
Which is not to in any way disparage central, it's just different.
It's the underlying character that's dominant for us is perfume. So we really work at getting perfume. So it's 100% whole berry fermentation. And no plunging, no pumping over, nothing. That's it.
Just the occasional idiot in the.
Just the occasional idiot that gets in. No, actually, that's on the next one.
Oh, right.
That's the idiot's one.
I want recognition on the back label.
We might do that for you.
Oh, great.
If you write the labels for me, I'll do anything.
Sure. My contribution may be slightly exaggerated. Righto.
So that's
Well,
cool.
Clive's got to get to the airport, so we
Okay.
better move on
Keep
to the next
rocking.
one.
Okay, so if that's your femme style, this is more of your boys style. So this is Bateman Vineyard, which again is in Seville. It's in red volcanic soil, again a very low cropping vineyard, but in red soil facing north. But the big thing here is it's 100% whole bunch fermentation.
It's much
So-
stalkier, more herbal.
It is.
Mm.
And
And if you're drinking something today, you'd go with that one without question.
without question.
5 years might be a completely different kettle of fish, but today
Totally.
that's just a beautiful,
Totally.
aromatic,
And that's it. You,
fresh, lovely.
without any wording up at all, you have got it. You're a bloody guru, aren't you, Ken?
You got the check last week then.
That is exactly what it is, and that is a wine for tomorrow.
Mm.
And it's really interesting because, you know, the lightly perfumed wine can get swamped a little bit by food. Obviously, we've given it a bit of a run a few times, as you can imagine. Whereas it's got a lot more structure and integrity and size, masculinity, muscularity
more grip.
about it, and grip.
Mm.
And it'll take a number of years to evolve that wine.
One of your great moments had to have been when you first got here and discovered, because I mean the last time I was down here, I think it was for a Merlot symposium that they did here. Because way back in the, you could not keep a straight face, could you? The old dark days of the $100 Merlot,
Oh yeah.
which attracted an enormous amount of public attention, almost as much as when their new winemaker said they couldn't make Merlot.
Fair enough, wasn't it?
Didn't sell a lot of $100 Merlot after that, did they?
No, not much.
Did you get a bonus that year?
I get a bonus every year, I think.
To keep your job next year.
No, oh well, you know, that's Merlot. I mean, Merlot is an ornament. It's an ornament, and it's worthwhile, you know, when you put it in with the rest of the family from Bordeaux.
Mm-hmm.
But by itself, I really struggle with it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, there's only about 2 or 3 wines on the planet of Merlot that are actually worth drinking.
100% Merlot.
100% Merlot,
Well, I think
and they come from a little islet poking out of the gravel. And
There's a few out of Italy that aren't bad. Macedo?
yeah, well, you know, life's too short for Italian Merlot, isn't it?
Possibly.
Possibly.
There's a couple of...
So no, I'm not in love with it.
no,
but
no,
I-
no, clearly.
But I respect it for what it can bring to a blend.
Okay.
And we do use it, and we use a bit of it. All of our cabs have got Merlot in them, and most of our cabs have got Cab Franc in there as well.
Okay.
And so, I mean, they are useful for putting detail into wines, but it just doesn't have, for what we grow here in this region, I don't think it's got the integrity. And when you look at, you know, the best Chardonnays we do, and other people around the valley as well, there's a level of quality and integrity and style with those that really is world class.
Sure.
No argument.
Well, when we said
Merlot,
before-
there's a big argument that they don't.
Right. Anything you want to... Any comments? Do you like Merlot? Let us know. Let him know.
See, this is why they don't want me to use social media.
If I knew what that was, I'd... and remember, we spit so you don't have to. Cheers.
Cheers.